trade deadline time, Major League Baseball, lots to discuss, and things are starting to really develop for the San Francisco Giants. And one of the key players in what was a stunning series to watch, great drama with the Red Sox in town over the weekend, Tristan Beck with unbelievable work in extra innings yesterday to help the Giants get to their 4-3 eventual victory. And he now joins us here on Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game. Tristan, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, what a cool thing to see your story start to develop. A California guy, a Stanford guy. Can you just kind of share with us what it feels like to now start to become a real piece of the San Francisco Giants?
Oh, man, it's been great. Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. California born and raised. Spent a lot of time in the Bay Area over my life and, 3 years in college. So, no, it's great to be a part of the team and be able to help the guys win some games, that's for sure.
And I want to take you back 4 years ago today, which was the day where you got traded to the Giants organization and then you got reassigned down to San Jose. Must have been a little bit of a mixed day for you news-wise to know that you're getting traded, but also to know you're basically coming home.
Yeah. No, I remember that day very clearly, man. Obviously, you never quite know what's going on when you get traded. You don't know what to expect. And, obviously leaving friends and connections that you've made in other organizations. But, man, getting to come back home to California was just a dream come true. Obviously a Bay Area team, but then playing in the California League with San Jose that year, being up and down and, spending some time down in Southern California, close to where I grew up. That was a super special year.
Tristan, it's kind of become a staple of the San Francisco Giants organization, which is some of the young guys do a lot of up and back, right? From the minors to the majors, and hey, boom, you're like thrown immediately into a big role. You've been one of those guys this year. What are the challenges associated with that?
Yeah, it can be tough, man. Obviously, we do that a lot with a bunch of different bodies and keep guys kind of moving in and out. But it can be challenging. Not only with the travel, flying all over the country. I think the 3 times I've been sent down to AAA, they've been on the road. So I'm meeting them in Tacoma, Houston, Albuquerque, and then flying back to meet up with the big league team. So, that definitely presents its challenges, but they do a great job of giving us plenty of time, having a good throwing schedule for the pitchers so that we don't really miss too much of a beat physically. But, no, it's challenging, but obviously we always look forward to coming back up and making an impact.
Is part of the challenge for you unique in that when you go to Sacramento, you get to start a little bit more, and when you're up here, your role seems to kind of vary from game to game?
Yeah. I came up as a starter all the way through. My first real exposure in the bullpen was when I got called up to debut. So definitely some growing pains at the beginning of that, but definitely gotten a bit of a schedule down. Started to adapt a little bit to it and find some things that worked for me. This last time I was down in Sacramento, just these last 2 weeks, they actually had me working out of the bullpen in a very similar role to where I am up here. So that's getting easier.
Giants pitcher Tristan Beck is with us here on 95.7 The Game, Willard and Dibs. All right, I want to jump right into yesterday. How you feeling about, Giants, Red Sox, rubber match, extra innings, welcome to the game, and oh, by the way, twice in a row, there's a runner at second, don't let him in. How's that go for you?
That was another first for me. I'd never been in an extra inning game with that free runner over the last couple of years since that come in. So, that was the first, but, it's you're thankful for those situations, high leverage, game in hand, our guys versus their guys down the stretch. So, it went my way yesterday. I'm happy I was able to make some pitches. Defense picked me up a little bit, but, man, that was a big win to come away with, that's for sure.
Yeah, 2 hitless innings, just the 1 walk allowed. How does that change your mindset as a reliever to go out there and know that there's a guy on base that you didn't give up?
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, I don't think it goes on your ERA or anything if he comes in, but of course, it's more just about the game flow. And the fact that more times than not, that guy's probably going to score, but just trying to get the first guy out, and then you can really start playing around with, all right, let's see if we can keep this guy from scoring. Let's see if we can maybe approach for a strikeout. But it all comes down to really getting that first hitter, man. If that guy reaches, then you start having some other things you got to worry about.
Tristan, I know that you're still just kind of getting indoctrinated here to the big league club, but especially because you've been a starter your entire life. I wonder what your perspective would be on this. I think a lot of fans look at your team and they go, well, there's Webb and there's Cobb and then pretty much a bunch of other guys who all would like to start, and they're not really starters. They're relievers, or they're bulk inning guys, as they're now called. How's everybody dealing with that? How's the clubhouse about that issue?
I think we're all on the same page, where it's just kind of a next man up mentality. I think that the way we're running the bullpen speaks a lot to just the depth and the amount of arms we have available. We've got a bunch of guys who can throw really high leverage, really competitive innings for us. And, it's not necessarily the most traditional way to run things, but I think it's put guys into positions to be successful. And I think, like I said, we're all kind of embracing that, next man up, new guy every day kind of mentality. And it's, I think it's been going pretty well.
What's the communication like for you in particular in terms of your role? Because you've come in the third, you've come in the second, the fourth, the sixth, and then yesterday you're the extra inning guy. Is there a plan going into a ball game in terms of how you might be used that day?
Yeah, there's definitely a plan going into the game, and then the plan that kind of develops as the game goes on, right? You want to be a little careful about establishing a 100% plan before you even throw a pitch. But, the communication's really good. We got a deep staff up here talking with, Andrew Bailey and JP Martinez down in the bullpen. And, you always know kind of what the original plan is going in. If maybe things don't go too well early, I'll have to be prepared to come in. But, once the game gets going and once the starters start eating up a few of those innings, it's, you just start kind of counting down, reading the flow of the game, and start thinking, this will probably be a chance where I get in, or if we score a couple or go down by a couple, it might be my time. So it's really just kind of, if it doesn't go sideways early on, then you start waiting and just reading the flow of the game.
Tristan Beck, Giants pitcher, with us here, 95-7 the game. Huge performance yesterday in the 10th and 11th inning to set up a Giants 4-3 win over the Red Sox. All right, Dibs asked you about 4 years ago today with the trade deadline situation, although much earlier in your career. I wonder your perspective now. We've got just over 24 hours. I would imagine there's a lot of angst in every baseball clubhouse. How would you describe how everyone's feeling as you approach the deadline tomorrow?
I think we've all been a little taken aback by just how quiet it's been around the league. Obviously, maybe this time last week there were some bigger trades on the horizon, or that people were maybe expecting to see. But I think it's been relatively quiet here so far going into it. But yeah, I'd expect things to pick it up here really quickly in the next 24 hours. A lot of close races across the league. Obviously, the NL West is wide open. And, everyone's kind of expecting to see, how we decide to write things out down the stretch.
You hear the chatter inevitably about, the Giants need an arm, and the Giants need another starter, and then you see Stripling and Manaea both starting to pitch great. Do those sorts of things matriculate into the clubhouse, and do guys respond the way they have, in part because of the chatter?
I'm not too sure. Obviously we're all very conscious of the way the market's going, and we're all, kind of tuned in to what the organization might be doing, what other teams across the league are maybe looking for. But no, man, like I said, it's just kind of that mentality we have on the staff, which is just, no matter what, every day it might be a new situation, but we just got to go out there and compete. And like you said, man, Stripling and Manaea have been throwing the ball really, really well recently. And those two guys will be huge for us down the stretch, so it's a great time for them to start getting hot and, hopefully start up a little win streak here.
Tristan, everybody's loved the major league career beginning for Patrick Bailey. So I wonder what your experience is throwing to him, and beyond the obvious. He's obviously a very good defensive catcher, but what's been your experience behind the scenes with Patrick?
Man, Patrick's great, man. We, obviously he kind of flew through the minor league system. I don't know that we were teammates in the minor leagues at all, but we've crossed paths a lot, be it at camps or spring training or instructional leagues, stuff like that. And, he's just a student of the game, plain and simple. I mean, it's kind of an old school feel, where, you just sit back there and he trusts his eyes, and if he sees something, just the way he calls a game, the way he reads runners on bases, I think it all, you see the arm talent, you see the ability to frame, you see all the advanced statistics on how good he is back there. But I think it all just stems from him just being a student of the game, man, and knowing the game and really just being able to trust his eyes back there.
What's the clubhouse like with you as a 27-year-old being older than almost half the team with all these rooks up there?
It's a little weird, man. Obviously, generally a pretty veteran team. But just with the amount of rookies that we've had coming in and out, it's kept for a very loose feel. It's a really tight-knit clubhouse, and the guys have been great, man. And obviously Luciano most recently debuting, and I feel like we've gotten to a point where it's pretty seamless bringing up these rookies and just kind of feeding off that energy. Everyone's so excited when guys are having all these first hit, first home run, first run. So it makes for a really fun clubhouse.
Hey, Tristan, do you have a brother in the Yankees organization?
Yes, I do. Brendan Beck.
Okay. Are you willing to say that you hate the Yankees?
Oh, I am more than happy to say I hate the Yankees.
That's the way we're doing it, Tristan.
I got to say, though, it's not as much as I hate the Dodgers.
Oh, my gosh.
You're just trying to be a fan favorite now, aren't you?
No, sir. I grew up in Southern California, man. Dad was a Padres fan, Mom was a Giants fan, and that's just what we learned from day one is any day's a good day for the Dodgers to lose.
This is breaking news. The Giants have just signed Tristan Beck to a lifetime contract. Tristan, congratulations. And by the way, what was your football fandom since you grew up in a sports fan family and you grew up down there?
We actually don't really – we're big football fans. But we don't really have a team. My dad, born and raised in San Diego, grew up a big Chargers fan. But, God bless him, he didn't want to, put us through that same thing of being a Charger fan. So now we're really just fans of the game. We watch football every Sunday all day. And, we've had teams coming in and out of Southern California for years now. So it is kind of nice not really having a team you're a huge fan of. But I will say, always got to root for the Niners, that's for sure.
Well, and I know you were a quarterback in high school, so please do weigh in. Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, your thoughts?
Hey, man, the way Brock Purdy played down the stretch last year was pretty good, man. Obviously, hoping for all the best with his elbow surgery in the offseason. Obviously, we know how that goes over at this stadium. But, if Brock Purdy can keep turning that in, then, I don't see how you can put that guy on the bench.
He's a Niner fan. Wow. He hates the Dodgers. He hates the Yankees. Tristan, congratulations on the lifetime contract. And we expect to talk to you again tomorrow.
Sounds great, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
There he is.
Thanks, Tristan.
Tristan Beck.
Wow. Run for office? You got my vote. Does it get any better than that? That was a clinic. That was a clinic right there.
That was absolutely insane. That was fantastic.
From Southern California and a Dodger hater. And for good reason.
And all these fans have been like, if I'm a Giants fan, whose jersey do I buy? Tristan Beck.
Number 43.
There you go.
There he is.
Is that his number?
Number 1 in your heart. 43 in your program.